We are live and kicking.
Live.
SMTV Live.
Live.
What else? What else is one of those shows?
SMTV Live. Did you already say
I
that? I was
just
too
said
busy shouting
SMTV
live.
Live, mate. Yeah.
CD
SMTV
UK.
Live, live and kicking. CD UK. We're all of the above. It's
Blue
Saturday.
Peter. Lizzo and Newsround.
Lizzo, Lizzo. Have you seen the Lizzo Mazimba song?
Nah.
Just sounds like an alt J song.
Nice.
It's just Lizzo Mazimba's face and someone chanting Lizzo, Lizzo. Great stuff.
He deserves
Happy
many
Saturday.
ballads.
Happy
Uh,
Saturday, Gary.
my Saturday's good. I woke up quite early because of the dog. Got a lot of housework done. And then I played No Man's Sky for a bit, trying to build up our space base a bit more. We now have a car, which is cool.
Oh
Uh,
shit, you got a car. You didn't tell me that.
yes.
Were you saving that for pod
Save
reveal?
it for content because it is
Saving it for a live react.
yeah, live react
I'm gonna do one of those YouTube thumbnails where I like really just open my mouth wide, like, oh,
with loads of red arrows pointing at an inconsequential object in the background.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
You won't believe what Gary told me.
Vehicles in No Man's Sky? Question mark.
Yeah. Mad.
Can we start the video with "What's up, guys? A sticker. We're giving away PS5. You have to stick around to the end of the video, lad."
Yeah, it's gonna be a full 10 minutes of us going. And if you want to follow the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, make sure you get notifications, turn those notifications on. When we hit so and so subscribers, we're gonna be giving away a PS5, everybody. Thanks to our sponsor NordVPN for this week's episode. Like just 10 minutes of that. That's the
No, we'd
intro.
definitely be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends for real.
And then it's just like it's just an Ali A intro. Just like this loud, shite EDM music. I
Oppressive
swear,
gamer EDM.
so one time, before I tell you how my day's going,
Okay.
no, one time, I used to work for PUBG, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing sort of like we sort of do YouTube like lookups of just big channels and stuff like that, in my line of work where we just sort of,
Yeah.
see who's big, see what's going on, blah blah blah. I remember looking at this one channel and this guy was enormous. He had like millions and millions of subscribers,
Yeah.
but all his thumbnails just like they made me hurt like looking at them because it was clearly marketed at children,
Yeah.
but like all the thumbnails were them just sort of like holding their face and doing this like shocked thing and all this other stuff. It was like the same three photos of his face, but then with other random shite like, is this the craziest Spider-Man animation on the internet? Like, what?
Well, was
How
it?
is this? It's no, no, it wasn't. Sorry to bring up beatboxing Spider-Man again, but that was crazier than that. No, it's just like it's mad how for some content and some people, YouTube is just absolutely like so good for them.
Yep.
Like it's insane.
It must be so
Um,
nice just to be that easily pleased by bright
in
lights
it,
and red arrows.
in it, it's
Watching something live.
like I don't know because there was like a streamer recently that I think she used to get like 1K on Twitch regularly,
Yeah.
and then moved to YouTube and she gets like 100 plus every day now on a live stream,
Jesus.
which is mental. But it's like I don't know. It seems to be just certain content and certain personalities
Mhm.
just do really well.
Yeah.
Just do really really well, don't they? Like on different platforms and that's crazy.
Yeah,
Like
it's
for
usually
example,
people
our
who are
podcast.
overly happy and are definitely serial killers, from what I've seen.
Yeah, like the more positive vibes content is definitely like YouTube content. Definitely more like, hey, positive vibes, keep it 100, bros. Don't forget, one day you could be as rich as me playing Fortnite. It's never gonna happen. Um,
Stay hydrated. I know you're stuck in the house with crippling depression, but simply just stay hydrated.
yeah, and then when there's people, then there's people like us who probably go online and are like, "Yeah, we all have crippling depression. Pop a beer, bros. Fuck
I would
hydration."
never pop a beer. I'm straight
Oh,
edge.
I know you are, but I'm not. All right,
I've
I
never
pop a
smoked a
beverage.
beer. I've never cracked open a can of weed. I wouldn't dare.
A pint of doobie, please.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Oh, 1 pint of bitter. Well, no, yeah, my Saturday's going all right. I've got this like I don't know if it's just 'cause I'm getting old or just it feels nice to wake up, like, fairly early on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Like, what I would do when I was living on my own, which,
great song
oh
by
god,
Freddie Mercury. Just want to interject.
which was like yeah, man. No, I would sit there and I would, like, what do you call it?
Space Out.
I would s yeah, I would, like, just like I've just done, space out. No, I would, like, space out until about, like, 3 or 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Just not doing anything particular. I would just be sat on my computer, just like I wouldn't remember what I was watching or what I was looking at. I was just like browsing Wikipedia or some shit. But I was just like, I don't know why I just stayed awake.
yeah,
And then I'd wake up at like what, like um 2 in the afternoon, or whatever the next day, and then the day's gone.
hmm yeah.
Whereas now I sort of like um I wake up at like 10 on Saturday, which is still not too early, but still, I wake up like 10, and I'm just feeling good. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm ready, full day ahead.
Well, I was up at
I'm never
half
late for the
seven,
podcast.
so
You're about 7:30. What time's your bed? You went to bed straight after we played No Man's last night.
no, I got better around midnight every night, but for some reason the dog just is always up at half seven, and if we don't take her outside, she'll piss and shite in the house. So we want to avoid that ideally. But it's good. I mean, I've got some sort of semblance of a schedule.
It's I mean, I'm trying to. I'm trying to. It's not that easy. It's definitely not that easy.
I find that it's always been easier for me to like wake up earlier if I'm like away somewhere. So like
Oh, same,
if I'm on
same.
holiday, I'm up because I want to make the most of the day. But when you're just at
I think
home,
that's it.
it's a pain in
I
the ass.
I think that's it. I think like I get up like easier and earlier when I know that there's something to do. When I know that like if my time is limited somewhere. Like when I went to TwitchCon last year, obviously jet lag plays into it as well.
Yeah,
Um, but also it's just kind of like you know that when you're awake, it's not just like you're just going to sit around for most of the day. You're doing stuff. Like the more time you are awake, the more stuff there is to do.
yeah.
So like the earlier you're up, the more shit you can do. So like I don't know, but I do like getting up early when I do. Like I do like the feeling of just having that entire day to do whatever.
Also, like if you're away, or just if you know the right places, like being awake at a certain time gives you access to like certain foods and stuff. Like if you can
God,
find a place
yeah.
that does pancakes, get them banana
Like
pancakes or blueberry pancakes. Oh,
so
what a tiny
I've
glow.
had this discussion with many people before, right? I am absolutely a breakfast guy.
Mm,
Like I am 100% a breakfast guy. Um like if I had the choice between, a real big ass breakfast and like a lunch of some variety, nah, give me the big breakfast, dude. I love getting up and just having like a proper big warm breakfast. Like, it was my favorite thing about the States, honestly.
yeah,
They go overboard for breakfast. I couldn't live like that because they have like
yeah,
2,000 calories at breakfast every day, and it's just standard. Like I was with some friends from like Florida and Texas and stuff, and it's just the norm. Like just like yeah, like I was like, oh, should I get the chicken fried steak? It's a bit big. Like just do it. It's like normal. What you do? What are you
just live
complaining
your
about?
life,
Right?
bro.
And oh, chicken fried steak, man, lovely.
Not a steak, guys. That means nothing to me.
It's chicken fried though.
Yeah, well, I'm a pancake boy myself when it comes to
I do
breakfast.
like pancakes and like syrup and bacon or banana or whatever. Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh,
I'm hungry now.
ooh.
God damn it. Anyway, speaking of hungry, let's talk about bug snacks, pal.
Let's fucking talk about bug snacks.
So
Talking
if we could
about bug
just
snacks.
walk our listeners through what bug snacks is, just as a
All right.
concept.
So bug snacks is a video game that had quite a bit of hype from the advert for it, or the trailer for it,
Yeah,
because it was quite unique. It was quite quirky. The characters look like little puppets, and it was quite a quirky little thing. The theme song was by Caro Bonito as well, which is one of my favorite bands. And it's a big tune. It's a massive tune. So everyone was like hyped for Bug Snacks, like it's a friendly kiddie game, whatever.
yeah,
Um, and the game itself it's focused around you're a journalist puppet thing, right? They
Okay.
look like Muppets. They're called Grumpuses. And you're a journalist, and your like editor and chief, whatever, said, uh, "I don't want you doing this thing," but you're like, it's going to be a good scoop. I'm going to do it because you've received an invitation from like a famous explorer who's gone to this island
Mhm.
and found these things called bug snacks that are
Alright.
basically like items of food with faces with little eyes on them and stuff,
Alright.
and that they're alive and they wander around and shit.
That sounds terrifying.
Um, so you go to the island, and then it turns out she's actually missing. She's gone missing. And everybody who lived in the village on the island that they'd set up to, who went on the expedition, have sort of had a big falling out and gone their own way.
Yeah.
So your job, with the help of Philbo, who is the loveliest little character, he's such a friendly little dude, is to like capture bug snacks to sort of complete little objectives and get everybody back together again, so
Okay.
you can find out where she's gone. That's the whole crux of it all. Um, but the weird thing with bug snacks is you feed them to the other folks on the island, and their limbs and stuff turn into that. So if you feed them the strawberry one, they get like strawberries as like a hand or some shit.
That's weird.
It is weird. It's very, very weird, and it gets weirder. I can explain why it gets weirder if you want me to. I
I know
can.
why it gets weirder. I watched the finale.
You watch the finale.
So
Okay, so we'll spoiler warning this.
yeah.
If you plan on playing Bugsnax, turn the cast off now for like what 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, turn it off 5 minutes. And we'll let then come back, get yourself like a nice cuppa, and then come back for the rest. Um, so the big twist in Bugsnax, it's quite a cutesy game. It's quite a happy, friendly game.
Yeah.
There's a big twist towards the end when you find out where the explorer is. You go and find her, and she's not actually like just a grumpus anymore. She's like a giant bug snack.
Jesus.
She's attached to. She looks like a fucking cryptid.
Yeah.
She's like attached to a big sushi roll. Um, and there's like all this weird shit, like a giant burger and pizza wings and stuff.
Mhm.
And she explains to you that the bug snacks are not actually like little creatures; they're parasites.
Oh, no.
Um, and the whole point is the reason why they're tasty, and because they make you think that they're tasty. They want to take over people's bodies, basically. That's why they turn into bits of bug snacks,
Yeah.
because they want to they're just a parasite that wants to completely take over someone's body. Um, and she's controlling them for now to sort of keep them off you, to stop them attacking you and shit.
Yeah.
Um, and it turns out that the island itself is one big bug snack. It's just one gigantic parasite. So this story goes from like this kind of like friendly little story to this is actually a nightmare. Um, in the last like 10 minutes of
I
the
think this is a
game.
game for children, like
Well, it looks like it is, and this is the thing: is like in a way it kind of is. Um, but also there are a lot of dialogue options and stuff like that that are very much adult oriented that kids would not get.
yeah.
Like there are definitely a lot of like side missions and just like choices for conversations and stuff. Like the I don't think kids would get it. I think kids would enjoy the just sort of like happy colors and music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would get that at all, like the rest of it. Um, Especially that end though. I saw someone post like saying, "Oh, my daughter's really enjoying Bug Snacks. Like, just stop her when she
Oh,
gets to the
no.
end. Stop her when she gets to the end. Like, just as soon as you go into the cave, just turn it off. Just tell her it's over. It's done. You won the game." Because it is wild. Like it's this weird cryptid parasite shit where it's like they are all trying to kill you. And apparently, so the last part, I don't know if you saw the last part,
I
you're like
did, yeah.
trying to escape the island. Um and you've got to like basically fend off bug snacks from like little groups. It's almost like like Mass Effect, you have that suicide mission at the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like you have to go to each group and you have to do a little mini game and defend them, right? Um if the bug snacks get too close, they eat them, right?
Jesus.
A- Apparently, you can fail it, and the people that you fail it with, they consume so much bug snacks that they turn fully into bug snacks,
Oh,
and they're
no.
basically like they're gone. So apparently you can fail it, which is depressing, and I imagine a lot of kids would fail it because it's not
Yeah, it
that
looked a
easy.
bit just hectic at the end.
Yeah, so it's a bit wild. I mean, I got the good ending. I saved everybody. We all had a good time. We all went home. Um, But yeah, I mean, I highly recommend Bugsnax, dude. I love it. I think it's so good.
Wonderful.
It's just such a like it's just such an interesting little game. The characters are really charming as well. Like they're really, really nice little characters with decent dialogue. Like they're well written as well. And I think I think especially for a game that probably a lot of younger people will play, I think it's nice that they really do handle sort of like um, LGBT representation in these little grumpuses.
Yeah.
They handle it really well. It's like a very like just well written. They're very well written. They're not like token gay characters, whatever. They just
Yeah. It
like
didn't
they
seem
just
it.
yeah, like Chandler, the big jacked dude, um, and the little nerdy guy. It's like it's not written as if like it's anything awkward or anything like token. It's just like yeah, standard. It's very
Nice.
cute. It's very cute. I like it.
Well,
Big game.
that's the 5 minute mark, so we could no longer talk about books.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, no spoiler warning and spoiler over. Spoiler over. Play Bugs next. It's free on the PlayStation 5 as well.
Is it?
And yeah, they if you have PS Plus, it's free.
Oh,
I
okay,
think for
okay.
like a month or two.
So, continuing the trend of video games, you got a PS5, buddy.
Ah, I
How's it
did.
going?
Bloody did. I love it. Like you know me, I'm a PC man. I'm
You
a
are, yes.
PC fella. Um, but I like PlayStation exclusives. That's why pretty much why I got it.
Yeah.
Um, it's a fucking unit. It's really big. Like, you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's ugly as fuck, but I
It
respect it, I
well,
guess.
this is the like, it's ugly as shit, but I don't care. Like like,
Yeah,
for
you're not
me
gonna be sat there staring at the console.
well, that's the thing, I don't really stare at it. I think it can look good in some rooms as well, but even then, you can just hide it. You can put it behind the telly or something, like, if you don't really wanna see it.
Mm.
Um, but it is good. It is very impressive how, like, smooth it is. Like, the games are just very smooth, like, loading times are almost non-existent. Everything looks great. I've been playing. Do you see me play Astro's Playroom?
I
Like
did, yes, for a bit,
that
yeah.
shit's dope, dude. I like that a lot. Like just as a little, even though it's just like a little test, basically like tech demo, it's just got loads of cool nostalgia and shit in. I love it. I really do like it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
obviously,
it looked fun. I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to when I eventually get one, 'cause I didn't pre-order, wasn't rushing around on launch day for one because I'm really just not
mm,
super.
I mean, it was chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I remember when the PS4 came out, what I did was I missed the launch for that as well. Didn't pre-order, didn't particularly mind. I had it in my mind to get a PS4 over an Xbox One first because the only game I cared about on Xbox One was Gears 4 at the time, which wasn't coming out until the following October. So what I did was I waited till just before Christmas just to see like what stock was left. And Argos had a bundle going with PS4 with FIFA, and obviously nerds are scared
Yo,
of sport. So I was like, obviously that one's not sold out, and I got one. So I'm going to see if there's anything like that nearer Christmas for the PS5, and if not, I'll probably just get one in the new year. But I am really excited to experience the controller. I've heard nothing but good things about it and how weird and wacky it is, and I think it should be fun.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I wouldn't have rushed to get it if I didn't get it with the pre-order window. Like if I didn't get it when I did, I wouldn't have been fighting to get it just because it's a nightmare. I knew it would be a nightmare, especially during a pandemic where like one, everybody wants one even more so, I think, because they're spending time inside,
Yeah.
and two, that it's only through deliveries.
Mhm.
But yeah, I grabbed one and I'm very, very happy with it, honestly. Very, very happy with it. Like Demon Souls was the main thing. That was like the big thing I wanted.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I'm so happy with it. Like it's such a good game, dude. It's such a good game.
Yeah, it looks like a just like a more polished Souls game, which is exactly what people want. They don't want anything too
Yeah,
drastic. Um,
that's the thing. More of the same, but it's very, very polished. And like the animations and stuff, like having um unique animations,
yeah,
for like um what do you call them now? Do you call them execution animations even from like parries and shit? Like
yeah,
the
I imagine it would
follow
fall
up
under
and
the
parries and
umbrella of
that?
executions.
Yeah, like they all have different ones for different weapons and stuff. They all look good.
That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
dope, dude. But the big thing that I didn't expect that I think I really want to just shout this from the heavens, but I don't know how to describe it. The DualSense controller is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Uh, like I did not expect this at all. I was just expecting our controller,
yeah,
but they've got so with the DualSense, they've got haptic feedback, like sensors or whatever in the controller, like
yeah.
all across the back of it, like of each, what the fuck? I can't even find the words on the controller anyway. The back of each right and left bit. What do you call that? Where your hands go?
Grip.
Yeah, grip. There you go, grip. Probably. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Um, but around there, it's like it feels all bobbly.
Yeah.
And basically, like it gives you specific sort of vibrations and feedback in specific parts of the controller.
Mhm.
Like sometimes it runs up from bottom to top.
Yeah.
And it just and even like the triggers and stuff, like the adaptive triggers, it all just feels so good. It feel like because with the triggers they put like weight on them
Yeah.
depending on what game you're playing and stuff and what you're doing.
Yeah, because if I
Um,
recall, like, the triggers on Xbox controllers have just always felt better.
yeah,
Um,
I mean the Xbox One controller is what I've used for PC games for the longest
yeah,
time.
me too, yeah.
But this DualSense, honestly, it feels good as a regular controller, but this vibration shit is insane, dude.
Yeah, when you're saying on the stream, I was watching you yesterday play Demon Souls, that you could sort of feel that your sword was on fire.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, so if I put my sword on fire, I can feel on the controller like the flickering of the flames. Like,
That's
not just
wild,
a
dude.
vibration, it's kind of just like vibrating up and down the controller
Mhm.
where I can feel the flickers. Like it is wild. It's honestly it's super impressive. Like super, super impressive. And if games like use this more, like if people start using this kind of stuff, it's gonna be dope, dude. It's gonna be super, super cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I probably end up getting both consoles, eventually. But I think in terms of the Xbox, I'm just gonna get the S, not like the big disc one, because I don't really care. Um, but I know in the future there's going to be a lot of titles for the Xbox that I am going to care about, like a new Gears. I will play Halo Infinite to see my boy Craig, um, but I don't think I'll need the big Super Edition. I'll just buy the little one, and I prefer the design of the actual console for the Xbox, just the Chad brutalistic, just cuboidness of it all. Um, but in terms of the one I'm most intrigued about, it's definitely the PS5.
yeah, it's that's the thing. Like, I don't see the point now. It's console war shit. Like, it's all just video games, baby.
Yeah. Plus,
But
with
for
everything like
me,
trending towards cross-platform, it's really not going to matter anymore.
yeah,
It's going to
exactly.
be
Like,
like
I
what
mean,
exclusives do you care about the most?
that's the thing. Like, the PS5 is where the exclusives are for me. And also, like, I don't know. I have a PC and Xbox. Like, Xbox is now like Windows, right? Like, they just release everything on PC as well. Like,
Yeah,
any of the big new releases, they come out on PC too. So, you know, But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's a bit of a chunk of money, baby. Bit of a chunk of money, baby. But
yeah.
um,
But I think I'm not sure, like, because for the PS5, I will play Demon Souls eventually, even though I've already played it on the PS3, and obviously I'd want to play the better version, the new one. But I'd say, like, part of me is like, if there was a PS5 available, like, on one of these sites, I'd be like, yeah, I'll get one, for regular retail price, not buying from a
oh
reseller.
no, oh yo, speaking of
But like,
fuck the
I
scalpers,
feel
dude.
like other than Astro's Playroom and Demon Souls, like, what would I use it for once that's gone? Because is there anything coming out like before December? Any new stuff coming out?
What for the PS5?
PS5, yeah. Because I've already played Spider
When's
Man on
Ratchet and
PS4.
Clank out? Because Ratchet and Clank, I think was it intended to be no, it wasn't intended to be a launch title. For some reason, I thought it was. That's out in 2021. Apparently, I don't think it's that far away.
Yeah.
I think it says the game is currently set to release during the PlayStation 5's launch window. So I presume we'll get it in January, or maybe towards like the end of December.
Mhm.
Like we have the what do you call it? The Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
The Game Awards is in. like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's not too far away now. It's like the start of December, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we're going to get some details there about what's coming next. I think a lot of the other stuff at the moment, on I think both platforms. So I mean, especially Xbox, they don't have any games right now.
Yeah.
Xbox has no games. Um, is like it's mostly the stuff that's out on other shit, like on other platforms and stuff like that. That you can just get on the new system and it plays better or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have enough to go off right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
because I think like I wouldn't mind a new Souls game because I think the other day I had like a craving to play a Souls game, but my problem is like once you've overcome all the bosses and clocked a Souls game, I'd very rarely want to go back unless I get the inspiration to try a new build or something. And it's like, do I want to re-download it and play through the same bosses again? I know all the tricks to it. So having an entirely new set of things with new mechanics is very appealing. Um, so I'll play that, but as it stands, until the new God of War comes out, there's nothing I'm overly excited for on the PS5. I don't know if there's any other
mm,
exclusives I'm just completely missing. Not necessarily before Christmas, just like in general.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, right now there's like what there's. I think the three big games that I'm gonna get is gonna be Demon Souls, obviously, which I have.
yeah.
Miles Morales, which you've already played.
Mm-hmm. Bloody good game.
And
Bloody good game.
Sackboy.
No, I swear it's Sackboy.
Like the Sackboy game looks pretty fun, man.
Yeah, but I was one of the people who just didn't like Little Big Planet.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a lot more.
Yes.
My fucking ash. I think we'll get a lot more news about like new games at the Game Awards because the Game Awards is usually pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at like a list of stuff that's like announced to be exclusive right now. So Ratchet and Clank, which I think is going to be really good. Um, it says Bugsnax is timed exclusive, but I guess it's timed console exclusive, right? There's a lot of timed exclusive stuff like Ghostwire Tokyo,
Yeah.
um, Oddworld Soulstorm. Oh, there's a new Horizon game as well. That'll be
Uh,
good.
Never got into the first one.
Obviously God of War 2 whenever that turns up,
That's gonna
which
be
we
amazing.
know, dude, it's gonna slap. Like just from playing the PS5 a little bit and just seeing like what the tech can do.
Yeah.
Just thinking about God of War 2 now is just like, oh my god, that's gonna be good. Like it's gonna absolutely slap T, dude. It's gonna be insane. I mean, I'm so excited to play that, man. I'm so excited. Give it to me now, Corey. Corey Balrog, if you're out there, hook me up, bro. Hook me up. Send it to me. Oh, it's Friday the 11th of December, the Game Awards. So it is like what 3 weeks
Yeah.
away,
I hope
and I
Hades
will
wins
be
everything.
watching it. Yeah, like I mean, you want to talk about the Game Awards? We can do.
I'm not really up on the categories, but yeah, sure. I just know
Yeah, we
Hades
can
was
do if you
nominated
want.
a bunch.
We can let's run through a couple of the like categories, a couple of the bigger categories, I guess, because like there's a lot
Yeah.
of categories.
Well, read out the
There's a lot
major
of
categories and we'll both pick our winners. This is happening
all
live on
right.
the podcast. A little peek behind
Live.
the screen.
There you go. That's my intro song. It's just the fucking Jeopardy song, whatever it was. I don't even know what I was singing there. Anyway, I'm loading up the page. I'm loading up the page. Fucking Game Awards website work, pal. This is why you never do live content, bro. This is why I personally think that folks that do YouTube have it much easier than streamers
Yeah.
sometimes because you can actually, you can guarantee everything works before you put it live. All right. So first the biggie, game of the year, right?
Okay.
Nominees are
Mhm.
Doom Eternal,
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. I can't do this voice. Ghost of Tsushima,
Yep.
Hades,
Okay.
Animal Crossing: New Horizons,
Yep.
and The Last of Us 2.
Easy one for me. That's Hades.
Like, so here's the thing. I think I'm gonna vote for Hades
Yep.
just because I want it to win. Just because, like, one, it's it's a super giant game compared to the rest that are like massive, massive studios. And two, I just think the game is a belter. I think it deserves recognition. It's a solid game. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
In many aspects, like not just the gameplay itself. But then again, like Tsushima was really good. I think Tsushima was very good, but I don't think the story was very good
Mm.
or the dialogue. Like I think it was a really, really good game. I really enjoyed it. I just don't rate the story that high. It's quite cliche.
Yeah.
Uh, Doom Eternal, I don't think should be nominated like for Game of the Year. I feel like it was okay. I don't think it was. You played Doom Eternal?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it wasn't as good as the Doom that came before it.
Yeah, that's the
Everyone's
thing.
like
Like
losing
2016
their
was
shit
better.
about like, oh, it's all about momentum and like it's like non-stop from start to finish and stuff like that.
It
And it
felt
was.
slower.
It was once you figured out all the mechanics, so you could just. But it was very much geared to that sort of gameplay. So like, oh, here comes an enemy. You need to pull out this gun because this gun kills it best. And if you want to just keep up this momentum, use that gun. And then if you used like I don't know the machine gun against an enemy that needed a rocket launcher done to it, it would take like half a year to kill it. And I get what they were going for, but for someone who enjoyed the Doom before it so much and didn't really swap through the weapons, just
Mm.
went through and just murked shit with the double barrel shotgun. Like it's sort of like it was forcing you to play the way the game is basically like top trumps with the guns and if
Well,
you
they
got
added like
if that's your type of thing and you got another rhythm of it and we're just smashing through it, I imagine it felt amazing. But for someone who likes to use whatever gun I want to use type thing and like play how I want to play, it didn't really
well,
hit me.
it was more of a RPG like adventure style, right? Like because you had a lot of like puzzles and stuff like that and like things to explore and it was more open world, right, than just levels and shit most of the time.
Yeah,
Um but I think the problem with that game, which is also something that Bethesda have done before, to one of my favorite games of theirs, which is Wolfenstein.
yeah,
Um they do this thing where they try and incorporate certain mechanics and they just don't work. Like they try and put in like boss fights or like difficult enemies and they just become boring. Like in the game like Doom, you want to be going fast, 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 right? It's like the whole point is speed, speed, speed. Just keep, as you say, momentum, right? Just keep going.
mhm,
But what they did with this one is like they threw in that Marauder enemy, which was just not fun.
yeah,
The Marauder was not fun in any way, shape, or form. Like it just made you slow the fuck down and play this really awkward little one-on-one fight
yeah.
every time one turned up. Um, and the last boss fight was abysmal. It was bad, in my opinion.
I didn't get to the end, so
Oh, you didn't finish it.
no. I got like I said, like the way the game played, I got
Mm.
like halfway through and I was like, I don't know if I could do this for another like 5 hours. Where I could be playing a game where I can do what I want with it, and
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. No, I finished it, and they did the same thing with the last boss in what was the game now? Um, I think it was Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, maybe. But they
didn't
had
play
this
that
like
either.
stupid as fuck boss, like right at the end. And it was just like, what is the point in this? Like, this just ruins everything. Just it's just not fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, like Doom Eternal, I don't think should be nominated. Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of my favorite games of the year.
Mm.
I think it's absolutely incredible. The gameplay is fantastic. The changes they made to the story are insane. It's very good, very very good game. And I am also of the opinion that Last of Us Two is very good. I know a lot of people don't like the game.
I didn't like the first one, so I never played the second one.
Well, I understand why a lot of people don't like it. Like I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she like hates the second one because she loved the first one.
Yeah.
And also spoiler warning for Last of Us Two, which everyone's probably played by now if you planned on playing it anyway.
Yeah.
Um, it makes you like so near the start of the game. Joel from the first game gets his head caved in with a golf club.
It's beaned.
Yeah, he gets absolutely beamed, absolutely just spaghetti. Um, and then in the second half of the game, you play as the person who killed him. So you're basically like you're trying to hunt her down as Ellie, and then you play as Abby on the second half of the game. And then towards the end, it kind of ties up with like more Ellie gameplay.
Yeah,
Then Abby just fucking canes her. Um, and that's why people didn't like it because people were like, "Oh, I hate this character. I don't want to like this character." Blah blah blah. Because they're attached to Ellie in a way, right?
yeah,
The reason I liked it is because I thought it was this like I thought it was very well done moral gray area. Because like nobody in this post-apocalyptic world is good, right? Like
yeah,
nobody is truly righteous. Like everyone's just doing their thing, like
yeah.
what they think is right or what's right for them. And that's the same thing. Like I like Tabby as a character because
Mm,
like Joel killed her dad, so
yeah,
she's pissed. Like you know what I mean? She was pissed off, and she was like, "Right, leave me the fuck alone." She's
yeah,
like, "That's it. I'm done. Leave me the fuck alone." And then Ellie's like, "No, I need vengeance. I must get vengeance." But people are on Team Ellie because they like her from the first game.
yeah,
Whereas I liked that conflict of interest, that sort of like both characters have a fairly righteous cause in their own minds. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I thought it was good, but I voted Hades for that anyway.
yeah. So my game of the year, I'm on the page now, so we can do it simultaneously. Obviously, Hades. I don't think I've played a game quite like it. It So, because I'm weird with replaying games. Like, if I've experienced something, it has to have something really big to get me back into it. The game I've replayed the most in my entire life is X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, the best game of all time. And the reason why that was is because I had a huge roster of X-Men and I just wanted to try all different combinations. Hades is similar in that it's just the art style's lovely. There's so many different things you could do, so many builds. No two runs are the same unless you painstakingly try and make it the same. But most of it's due to chance. I don't know why you do that. And it's just the amount of like different combinations and the synergy. So like you could pick two things that you wouldn't think would work together, and somehow they work together. It's very beautifully balanced, and I had it in early access before it was properly released, and even then, it was worth the price of a full price game. It still isn't because it's technically an indie game, um, but I'd say I've sunk more time into Hades than a lot of AAA titles I've bought in the past 5 years. Not since Witcher 3 or Metal Gear Solid 5 have I looked at a game and thought, "Holy shit, this is really good." I'm happy to go on the internet and just defend it to the hilt. Not that anyone's saying anything bad about Hades. Everyone seems to love it, and rightfully so. But it's just such a wonderful game, and the
I
fact that it's
agree.
based on like Greek gods and stuff is a plus because that stuff's just cool.
It's super cool. It's super cool. So next one, best game direction, which is pretty much the exact same candidates.
Yeah,
FF7, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alex, which I never played,
yeah.
and Last of Us Part 2. Uh, I don't know for this one because I kind of want to say Hades because like just it
I
is a
voted
slapper.
Hades, but that's just because it's literally the only game out of these I've played. I have a feeling if I played like Final Fantasy, Ghost of Tsushima, or Last of Us Part Two, I might have a better opinion because game direction to me like is more into the story, whereas Hades is like Dark Souls. It's like find it out if you want to, but he has a fun game. Um,
Yeah, like I feel like game direction would probably I'd probably say Final Fantasy VII
yeah,
remake. Just because even though yes, I know people always say, "Oh yeah, but it's a remake. It's not a new game." It basically is a new game. Like
yeah,
the way that they've changed this entire game to be not only a different um type of gameplay entirely from the first one,
yeah,
but they've also added in more character for some of the characters that weren't even mentioned in the
yeah.
first game, pretty much.
Mm.
And they also flipped the shit on its head. Like,
See, I really wanted to play it, but I'm a
mm,
little bit sad that the battle system isn't the turn-based shit.
oh, I
Um,
like the new one though. It's very fun.
yeah, is it? I heard it's more like Kingdom Hearts, and I've always liked
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts,
very
so
much so.
um,
Very much so.
I kind of want to play through it, see what it's like. But
Mm. And the fact that you can also like you can switch characters mid combat and like play as them basically.
yeah,
So I just always switch to Tifa and kick the
yeah,
shit out of people.
Even in the first game, I just can't stand Cloud. I don't think he's a good protagonist. I know everyone on the internet loves him, um, but like I was always more into like Vincent, Sade, Barrett, Tifa because she just knocks people's shit in with machine gun punches, and Red. What's the number? Red 13.
Red 13. Yeah. Well, the thing with this one is that it's obviously it's split into parts.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next part comes soon.
Hmm.
Just because I really want it like
Yeah.
soon. And I think they will. I think like this was the probably the most work for laying down the sort of like groundwork, like, getting the mechanics right, getting everything like that set up, and then they can just add on top of that for the
Yeah.
next stuff.
Would
But
you?
again,
Sorry. Would you recommend I buy it?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because
I think you'd enjoy it. I'm not going to say a word about the ending or anything like that.
Oh,
Um,
I think I already know what happens and like what they're doing with, but like I was never too attached to the first game. Like my favorite character from Final Fantasy VII's Reno, and he's not even playable because he's a bad guy.
oh
Well,
yeah,
not
you kick the
really a
shit out of
bad
Reno
guy.
multiple times.
He redeems himself in Advent Children, but like,
But this is so I'm gonna go on a little tangent here. Spoiler warning again, okay? Spoiler cast, all spoilers all day. Final Fantasy VII Remake really like comes into its own, I think, at the
yeah,
end of the game, where it tells you basically this is a remake.
yeah,
Like right at the end of the game, it basically says this is not the same thing because a lot of the story is fairly the same. It's fairly parallel with
yeah,
the original game until you get to the end, and there's basically this whole sort of like um almost alternate reality sequence where you go into like this sort of weird realm,
yeah,
um and there's these enemies that you fight in there that are these like weird sort of like ethereal enemies that you fight, and it basically explains to you sort of a series of memory sequences and stuff that show like bits of the original game,
yeah,
that this is a completely different path. They basically say, I think there's dialogue where they say like, either we go with destiny or we go with this.
yeah,
Like either we follow our destiny or we break our destiny and change things. So, it's different. But the theory crafting was what I loved the most. So people have theorized, and it seems like probably the best, like, best theory on it. This is from people that have been reading like these little books that came along with like some of the games with Advent Children and shit, by the way.
yeah,
Like this goes deep. Like they've mentioned a lot of stuff. The ethereal enemies that you fight, is it Kadaj, Laz, and Yazoo
yeah,
from Advent Children, who are like the three sort of split offs of Sephiroth.
yeah,
Um, because they act very similarly.
yeah,
They have very similar weapons,
yeah. And
and
one's
they're
got
kind
the
of,
fist stuff. One's got the
yeah. One's got the sort of like sword arm thing.
yeah,
Like they're very similar. So people have been theorizing that that's a direct reference to that, which would also break shit apart in terms of like that's from Advent Children,
yeah.
and this has been mentioned now, like in the first part of the first game. So I am excited to see what they do with the rest of it.
But no,
But I love what. Go on.
I will give it a go. I think because I've got a 3 day weekend because I've took Monday off because I've got to watch wrestling
Oh hell yeah, baby.
on the Sunday night. But I saw like the hubbub about them changing like the whole story and stuff like that. But that shit never bothered me. I thought the story in Seven to begin with was fine. Wasn't anything breathtaking. But as someone who's read comics a lot, like different universes, things branching off, reimagination of the story, that shit's just a regular weekend for me. I'm like, okay, we're going in this direction now. Captain America's got like, I don't know, the feet of a goat and he can see through walls now. Fine. Um, so it doesn't bother me. I'm not overprotective about stuff in my own interests unless it's the X-Men films, which are all bad. Um, but
No,
that was
that's
more like
that's
an insult to the characters and like what the X-Men stand for in general, rather than like, oh, it doesn't state in the comics.
yeah,
So
that's
I'll
the
probably
thing.
get Final Fantasy Seven coming.
That's good because it is like it does have obviously there's the big deviation towards the end, but it does have little bits of deviation in the story itself.
Yeah,
Even though most of it runs parallel, but it's like one of the things that I think was the best decision that they made is they made the decision to make some characters that were incredibly insignificant in the first game
yeah,
have a very key part and make them also very, very charming characters.
Yeah. I
So
heard
like
they
your
expanded
crew.
on like the group of rebels you're running with at the start of the
So
game.
that's the biggest thing they did.
Mm.
Like Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge
Yeah.
are actually their own characters in this game. They have a lot of dialogue. They play a very key part, all three of them,
Yeah.
and they've made them proper characters. Because in like the first game, they don't do shit. They say like they have like a couple of lines of like dialogue, and then that's it, right?
Yeah, I think
Um,
the I could be wrong because I'm not like the greatest Final Fantasy buff, but I think the biggest outing for Biggs and Wedge in Final Fantasy history before this point was probably 6, where they got a lot of dialogue at the start and they have the mech suit and you play with them alongside that princess woman to defeat the electric slug thing that's the first boss.
that's Final Fantasy, baby.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, like they put a lot of effort into it. Like they really do make these characters their own characters with like even like side quests and stuff for like
Yeah.
Jesse and stuff like that. Like it's really good. It's really really good.
I'll give it a go.
Highly recommend.
Right, we're getting bogged down a lot of discussion around the actual games,
Where aren't
so
we?
we gotta get through these.
All
Best
right, let's power
narrative.
through. Best narrative. I voted Final Fantasy.
Didn't play Final Fantasy. Did play either of these other than Hades. So I went for Hades, but genuinely, I think genuinely I still would have went for Hades over all of
It
these.
is good. It is a
Um,
good
just
narrative.
because it sticks to certain aspects of the mythology, breaks other aspects. I think it's a nice fresh take on it. The side quests are all good. The way you can link people together, the constant push and pull between Zagreus and like the characters around him is really good. And you think you wouldn't expect it to be in that depth from a roguelike, but every time you come to the hub world, you're almost excited. Sounds a bit morbid, but you're excited to die to see like, oh, is my am I going to find a little bit more about Meg this time? Am I going to get like more stuff in the shop to renovate things?
The only character we need to find out about is Meg. 100%.
Yeah.
God.
Even Hypnos. I love Hypnos.
Yeah, Hypnos is very me.
Yeah. So yeah, best narrative. I'd have went for Hades. Next one, best art direction. I'm sounding like a right shill now, but Hades again.
Sorry. Before we continue, let me just tell you. So in Final Fantasy VII remake, like towards the end, no, we'll keep going.
So art direction, Hades again. Nearly
I voted
everyone.
Hades for art direction as
Yeah,
well. I think that's probably the one in that category that really, really sort of the art is the key part of it.
yeah. I think the only one that comes close in this
Hori,
category is Ori. Yeah, it's really
yeah.
intriguing. Unfortunately, I didn't play the game, but it looks like halfway between um sort of like a D&D supplement book and like a children's game, and it looks really
Mm.
nice. Whereas all the others like Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy, I know Final Fantasy is a bit more anime, but it's all very like almost realistic, and I'm just bored of those kind of visuals.
Everyone's hot in Hades as well.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
everyone.
best score and music. What have you got for this one?
I was torn between Final Fantasy and Hades on this one, so I
Yeah,
went with Final Fantasy.
that's fair. Does it have a supercharged version of Sephiroth's theme?
It has the supercharged version of like all the bangers. Like it's
Nice.
got like fresh versions of all the big songs.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's some good shit. Unfortunately, I didn't play it. Mine was between Hades again and Doom Eternal, because Doom Eternal, um, for all its flaws that I spoke about earlier, like you can't knock the soundtrack of a Doom game. It's just unrelenting chug. It's like it matches what you're doing in the game perfectly. It's a soundtrack to just like shoot and just pull things apart and just rip and tear, as the saying goes. However, the fucking soundtrack on Hades is just wonderful because of my boy Orpheus and uh, what's his what's he on Orpheus and what's his wife called that he leaves behind
Um, fuck, I don't know. I can't remember.
Eurydice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I like Orpheus though. It's very
just the
it's
songs,
Robert
and it's
Smith.
just lovely when you're in the can't remember what the second level is called, the lava level where you take a pole and you end up in Eurydice's house because she's got an amazing voice. Best audio design. What have you got for that?
Best audio design. I went for Ghost of Tsushima for
Cool.
this one, just because it is very good in that respect. Like it is very, very good.
Yeah. Mine was a toss up between Resident Evil 3 and Doom Eternal. I didn't actually play Resident Evil 3. I watched someone else play it because I just don't know why. I just couldn't be asked to buy it. But like it was very visceral, the sounds like when you're like shooting zombies and like people getting eaten and stuff. And I feel like Resident Evil 2 and 3 have been really good. Resident Evil 3 not so much as 2. I think it was very much on rails for like bits that people actually wanted to play. So at the end I decided on Doom Eternal because, as I said, audio design, while the soundtrack itself wasn't as good as Hades, it's part of the experience. Like when you play a Doom game, you expect it just to be just uh, loads of angry metal in the background, and it delivered. So I've gone for Doom Eternal. Didn't play any of the others in the category. Best performance.
Best performance. I actually went for Logan Cunningham here.
Okay.
Just because I feel here's the thing. I feel like um Miles is probably gonna win it.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't played it yet, I feel like it's probably very good like performance. Um here's the thing, Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey both did amazingly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I felt like voting for the sort of like black sheep of the crowd here,
Yeah.
which was because Hades' voice was really good. It was really well done.
Yeah. You can feel,
Um
you sort of feel the resentment.
yeah,
Like,
so
I
but
don't like. I have a wonderful relationship with my dad. Love Big Johnny, great lad. But this game made me feel what it was like to have a dad that just doesn't approve of anything I ever do.
like it's I don't know. You can feel it. And that's the thing. I feel like either like Ellie, Abby, or Miles are gonna win. Like as much as I liked Ghost of Tsushima and I think Daisuke Tsuji did a good job, the character just the dialogue is just not good. Like it just isn't great at all.
Yeah. I've gone for Naji Jeter. I'm going to say it's Jeter, like Derek Jeter, but it might be pronounced differently. Apologies if you ever listen to this podcast. But I don't think Miles is going to win it all because I think it's too close to the wire that Miles Morales came out and there wasn't enough in the original Spider-Man game or the DLCs to like give a proper thing of his performance. But playing through Miles Morales, it hit me a lot harder, a lot more often with the themes of like his mom running for council and he's like trying to get this poor area respected and fighting against not only villains but like gentrification and stuff, and him being constantly disappointed by like his uncle and like some of his friends who he thought were like good people and stuff like that. It's a really wonderful performance and it's a very relatable performance. um so that's why I voted for Miles Morales. Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey, I watch them every week on Critical Role, so I've got no doubts that they put in a shift as both these characters, but didn't play Last of Us 2, so I won't know. Didn't play Ghost of Tsushima, so don't know anything like that. Logan Cunningham did a great job as Hades, but I don't think he did enough to warrant a nomination here. It was really good, but like, unless you're like, say if you did a few runs and you died just before the final boss battle, I won't spoil it in case anyone's still to play it yet. Like sometimes he's just not in the hub world to talk to, so it's very dependent on his in-game appearance, which in a way he can't always control. But sort of like the exposure to him was a lot less than these other characters, I'd imagine. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think it's like that's more of a as well. It's good, but it's more of a VA job than a full like performance, right? Like a
Yeah.
full performance. But still, I think any of them in that category, except sadly Daisuke, I really don't think you should win it, dude. Like it's, I think it's I really like Ghost of Tsushima, but I just
Yeah, I think The Last of Us might be at a disadvantage because they're splitting their vote between two people. But you know, so next category is games for impact for a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. Um,
I have not played any of these games,
I have.
so I
Um,
voted for Spiritfarer because it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, the only one I've played is Spiritfarer. I wouldn't say it has a pro-social meaning. It's not like it doesn't really have a social message, but it is thought-provoking because it's very much it's dealing with death mostly. So there's no specific politics come into it. It's more like dealing with grief and like helping people pass on to the other side. It's a wonderful game, and the fact you can build your own ship. and have people living on it and stuff. It's a it the way the best way I could describe it as to someone like yourself who hasn't played it, it's like bug snacks in that it's very charming and very wholesome.
Mm.
There is a dark undertone, but it's not a sinister dark undertone. It's like, okay, this is the end of this character's life because your character, you are like taking over from Charon, um, to like spirit people to the afterlife, but you have to like go
Oh,
around, journey, like
okay.
live with them, get to know them, bond with them. And some of them you related to, and like fulfill their like last wishes and stuff, and then you take them to the place to help them move on. It's a very sad game in parts, but it's a very uplifting. And I think it's important for like young people to play because it's like a nice, subtle, peaceful introduction to the concept of people you know might die and move on. It was amazing t- to think like a game could do that, but it's very nice. And the visuals are lovely, art style's wonderful. It's just a really nice, charming game. So I voted Spiritfarer. So the
I would
next
say too.
category is best ongoing. What have you got?
I've put No Man's Sky just because I've
Okay,
really been enjoying it lately. Like, mainly
you've
just
got
kind of been
recency
vibing.
bias here on it.
Yeah.
uh,
Like, I don't know. I feel like I have had honestly, I feel bad for saying this, but I feel like I've had the most fun out of any of these games this year in Warzone, to be fair.
yeah,
Like I played a lot of Warzone this year with the boys, and it's been good, dude. It's been real good. But I voted No Man's Sky just because I feel like they've been putting a lot of fucking work into it for so long.
yeah. So I've gone for Destiny 2. Again, similar to you, I've really been enjoying it. But I find myself always coming back to Destiny quite regularly, more regularly than I returned No Man's Sky. I returned No Man's Sky at the start of this year, and recently we've been back on it. But Destiny, I just really like how it plays. Like a lot of people don't like looter shooters because they feel like grindy, but for me, it's a very relaxing game because I can just stick it on, put a video or a film on my other screen, and just mindlessly just play that satisfying game loop of kill things, get shinier stuff to stick to my character type thing. And I've tried to pay attention to more of the narrative recently, and I finally get it because a lot of the time I'm just like, oh, now we're fighting robots, now we're fighting
Oh,
six
one of
armor.
my friends is a big Destiny buff.
Yeah. And it's really interesting, and it's like I love the visuals of it as well. It's all really like abstract shapes and stuff like that, which is part of like cosmic storytelling. That's always intrigued me, like how concepts of light and dark, when you get to the point it's no longer just like evil between organic matter, it's like universal concepts. Things don't have to be like corporeal or like humanoid to matter. It's all like weird shapes and like concepts outside of our own understanding, and it's just really cool once you get into it. So I voted Destiny for that one.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's the next
Hell
one,
yeah.
Connor?
Um, Next one is best indie. Um, Between Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
Hades, easy.
Yeah, I gone for Hades. Spiritfarer would have gotten my vote if Hades hadn't come out. All of like Hades wasn't qualified because it was technically in early access or something. Because as I said, I could continue to praise Spiritfarer, wonderful game. Um, but yeah, Hades. Fall Guys, I should maybe vote for because I now work for that company.
Oh
Hey,
shit, yeah, you do, don't you?
but no, like Fall Guys is great, but Hades, I just cannot stop
Wait, do
praising.
you work for them?
Yeah, I work for the Tonic Games Group. So half
Oh
the company's
shit.
media, Tonic, the other half is the regular company.
I'm sorry, I don't want it to win. So
That's all right. Just know that when I'm living on the streets, it's your fault.
it's all
I
my
saw you
fault.
play Carrion. Did that come close
Carrion
to?
was cool. Like Carrion's a cool game. It's a really cool concept. Like it's you just play as like a big parasite blob trying to eat up everything. Um, the only thing I would say though is that it does get kind of samey kind of quick.
Yeah,
Like I think it was very fun. I think it's a cool little game. But I do think that like it's not worth voting for in this kind of category. I don't think it's that big an impact. Like it's cool. and all, but yeah,
It's
it's
nice that
not.
they got nominated. That's a tip of the hat to them.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It's just not that good,
Yeah.
not insanely good.
So next one is best mobile game. I've only played one of these, so I picked Among Us.
I think that yeah, I'm voting Among Us for this one because I think that it really, really deserves an award for
Looks a lot
something
of
this year.
nominees, yeah. It's a shame they didn't qualify for more categories because technically they came out. I think it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Well, this is the problem. Some people are like, oh yeah, but it came out 2 years ago. Yeah, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like the game didn't have any impact 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Like, and now it has had a huge impact. Like, it's been one of the biggest games of the year.
yeah,
Like, Among Us has been absolutely huge. I think especially because everybody's been indoors trying to find a way to socialize like
yeah,
with each other. But Among Us has been huge. A lot of people have been playing Among Us. Like it's the big streams. Like it's been huge on Twitch. I know pretty much everybody that I've spoken to has played it or is playing it.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's massive, dude. It's massive. So I voted for Among Us there just because I do feel like it really deserves some recognition.
yeah.
Genshin Impact's a good game though as well. I don't know how it plays on mobile, but it is a pretty cool game for a free game.
So
But yeah, I went for that.
next category is best community support. What have you got for this one?
One closest to both of us. I voted for Destiny 2.
Oh,
So it was between Destiny and Apex for this one,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
Just because obviously being like a community manager myself a lot of my career,
yeah,
and just keeping an eye on like other practices and other what other people are doing and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, I really do think that both of those games have just been putting a lot of work into doing things for the people that play the game. Like they're constantly communicating about it. They're constantly introducing like new features,
yeah,
fixing things, changing things when people don't like them or whatever. Yeah, I'm all about that. Like looking at the rest of them, I'm not going to say that they do a bad job at all with this kind of stuff,
yeah,
but I just think that those two are the ones that I've just seen be the most responsive. Like I personally I think Fall Guys was nominated for this because of its social media presence,
yeah,
but I don't think that translates to community support. Like I don't think the game really requires that much community support, right?
yeah,
Because it's just like, it's you just play it. There's not that much can go wrong.
yeah.
So yeah, I really feel like those two, like Apex, and Destiny, probably deserve it out of that.
I voted for No Man's Sky. Now, I know they're not as active on social media as an Apex or Destiny 2, but I think just for the amount of effort they've put in to just keep updating the game with the community in mind, and just after the disastrous launch and just managing to cut through the bullshit and playing it now in the year 2020, I would never have imagined it would be in the shape it is now. And the parameters for this particular award isn't just social media, it's games updates and patches, and I think they're unparalleled in just their drive to get out the best game possible and deliver on that promise that they acknowledge they fell short on. I think it deserves recognition, so I voted for No Man's Sky.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see this kind of stuff get recognition as well. Like, like best community support as a category itself.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to see. All right, next one. We got best VR AR. Um,
I haven't played any of these, but I voted for Dreams because I saw a lot of people having a lot of fun on it, and I appreciate the
yeah, I voted for
effort they
Dreams
put in.
too, just because like it just seems cool.
Also, one of the options in this category is Marvel's Iron Man, and if you ever think I'm going to give Iron Man an accolade in any universe, you can go fuck yourself.
Raw, uncut.
Tony Stark is a war criminal. All right, innovation in accessibility.
I think all of these games have done like good stuff for accessibility.
Yeah,
I just think Last of Us was the best. I think Last
yeah.
of Us definitely like offered a lot, so I voted for Last of Us.
I voted for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Um,
Oh, she was chill.
No,
Chill.
I'm not going to be a shill much longer. No,
You're chill
because
now.
in the lead up to its launch, being a community manager for Ubisoft, on Uplay specifically, I had to subtitle a lot of stuff and a lot of content for Assassin's Creed. Um, and just looking at all the cool stuff and features that I had to write about, I was like, oh, really? They can do this, they can do this, all this stuff. So getting to like have a more granular view of all they were doing to make the game accessible really changed my opinion of the game because I'm very much on the train of another Assassin's Creed. I'll maybe play it one day, but just the efforts that they went to make it as accessible as possible was quite commendable. So that's why I voted for that one.
Hell yeah, dude.
Best action.
Um, I've voted for Hades again.
Yeah, I also voted for Hades again. Let's move on.
Let's move on,
Best,
like, best action adventure. I voted for Ghost of Tsushima
yeah,
here. I was tempted to vote for Fallen Order, to be honest. That was a good game too.
uh, my problem with Fallen Order is like it was fun to fight humanoid enemies. It was no fun for me to fight monsters,
Oh no, I would agree
animals.
with that too. I would agree with that as well.
I voted for Spider-Man Miles Morales just because it might be recency bias, but it plays like the other Spider-Man, except with Miles, rather than the gadgets that Peter Parker has, you've got Miles' inherent abilities like his electricity and his ability to go invisible. So rather than just copy and paste another Spider-Man game, give him a different suit and put a different guy under the suit, it really does feel like you're a different hero. The story was good. Boss fights were really fun. Yeah, just great game.
Yeah, just a good ass game.
I wish it was longer, but yeah,
I'm
story of my
excited to
life.
play it, man.
Best role playing game. What you got?
So best role playing game. I'm gonna vote for, right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna vote for Final Fantasy VII because I played it. Okay.
Yeah,
Persona 5 Royal, I played the original P5 and it's fucking incredible.
yeah,
So I imagine Royal is up there. I imagine Royal is definitely,
yeah,
a candidate for it. Um and Yakuza Like a Dragon, everything I've heard about it is incredible.
yeah.
And I would like to see a Yakuza game win, so it's a toughie. It's a toughie, dude. But
Well,
I'm
I've only played one of these games and I didn't like it at all, and that was Wasteland 3. Just
okay,
couldn't,
so anything that's not Wasteland free.
yeah, couldn't get into it. Never been into Persona. I played 4 Golden on the PS Vita. It was fine. Didn't get the hype.
Fine.
Um, it was just too
How do
much
I how
dialogue.
do I
If a game's got
disconnect?
too much dialogue, I'm like snoring. Because I've got a
How do I
monkey brain.
disconnect from the podcast? How do I do
Um, Final Fantasy 7, I've only played the original.
Wow,
Genshin Impact, don't care about. Looks like a bunch of weeb shite. So
very
I guess I'll vote Yakuza because I like the series. I haven't played Like a Dragon, but I like the series.
yeah, I would like to see it win just because I'd like to see a like Yakuza game win in a Western Game Awards show for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Best fighting game.
best fighting game. I haven't really played any of these.
Yeah.
But I voted for The Night in Birth just because one of my mates plays it.
I voted for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Just because I've played. It's the only one I've played. I mean, I've played Street Fighter 5, not the Champion Edition. Um, but it's just something about Mortal Kombat. I'm always buying the iterations of it. It's just an intriguing
Rambo, innit?
franchise. Yeah. All right. Best family game.
I voted for Crash Bandicoot 4 for this
Cool.
because I mean Crash Bandicoot games are just bangers. The only thing in this category I don't agree with is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit because that's not a game, that's a toy.
Yeah.
Like to me, anyway. I
Yeah, it
I don't
feels
know.
more like an accessory, like a gimmick. Maybe that should have been in the augmented reality.
Yeah, because I mean it is. It's just an AR like toy. It's not like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was going to vote, initially, I was going to vote Animal Crossing, but then I thought, like, it's not really, it hasn't been taken on as a family game. It's more been taken on as like a game for introverts and like just a therapeutic thing. So I voted for Fall Guys just because it's a lot of fun. It's got like the similar to the way that it can stimulate children like Boo Bars or like the Teletubbies. A lot of colors,
let's not let's not get into boo bars
a lot of
again.
fun. So I voted Fall Guys just because it just looks like a game kids would enjoy, and I enjoy it myself. So
Let's
best
not get into
sim
boo bars.
slash strategy.
What did I vote for this one? Oh, I voted for Crusader Kings 3 because I had a laugh playing that.
um, I've
Uh,
sorry, Karen.
I'll just no continue. I was just thinking about something.
I'm going to get back on my soapbox and profess that Gears Tactics is one of the best games I've played in 2020.
It's okay.
I was so happy that there was going to be an XCOM style game with Gears. I'm absolutely just obsessed with Gears, read all the books, know all the lore. I'll defend it to the hilt. I even didn't care that Gears Judgment sucked. I enjoyed the level where you storm on the beach. Great stuff. Really wish Desperados was more fun because me and my brother have very fond memories playing the first one on the first ever PC.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made a third
Yeah.
one.
But it was a bit. I just couldn't get into it. Crusader Kings, I've never been able to get into. There's too much happening. XCOM Chimera Squad. Sorry, haven't played it because I think you just play as a preset squad where you have aliens and stuff. And one of the appeals for XCOM for me is being able to just make my mates and just go around just having a bunch of bants. Whereas Gears allowed me to do that. Gears Tactics. Yeah, I paid full price for Gears Tactics, didn't get it on a Game Pass, and I don't regret it. I would pay two times the price. I got so many hours out of it. There's stuff in the end game after you complete the campaign to do and stuff like that, which isn't usually the case in a game like this. So I loved it. Gears Tactics.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I respect it.
Hell yeah. Best
I respect
sports
it, brother.
slash racing, dude.
I've only played one of these games and it's a banger. I voted for Tony Hawk's.
Yep.
The Tony Hawk's remake is fucking well good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's just like it's just the same but better.
Mhm.
Like that's all I wanted from it. That's what I got from it. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go.
Yep. I also voted for Tony Hawk's. FIFA 21 is wonderful, but it's FIFA. It's just more the same. I heard NBA 2K21 is slightly more annoying than last year, so happy with that. Um, haven't done any of those racing games. Usually, I'm a Forza dude when it comes to racing games, and there wasn't one this year, so Tony Hawk's it is. Best multiplayer, buddy.
Best multiplayer. I voted for Warzone. I want Among Us to win this, so maybe I'll switch my vote to Among Us. Like that's the thing. I'm torn between like the tactical vote, you know, like
Yeah,
I want some stuff to win, even if I think like something else is better for me personally. Because
yeah.
I played a lot of Warzone this year.
Mhm.
Like I played a lot of Warzone, and it's been continuously fun, like
Yeah,
for me and the boys to play Warzone together. But Among Us has like such a big impact. Um, and I think they definitely like. I think the thing is right. Call of Duty winning awards, they always fucking win awards.
yeah,
Among Us, this is probably the only chance that Among Us is gonna get to win an award.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna switch my vote to them. Fuck it. Fuck you, Activision.
I also voted for Among Us. Just it was just it's in some areas it still is just an unstoppable phenomenon. The crossover potential between like streamers and stuff for it has been wonderful. It's
Dude,
been good for
it's made
game.
careers.
Yeah, it's been good for people playing the game. It's good for people viewing the game, and it's just nice to see a small studio become so successful that they've had to stop their own sequel to support the current game with the hype it's in now. So I think it's a great game from personal experience as well. It's the most fun I've had playing multiplayer this year. Just getting a bunch of people together and just deceiving each other, all that fun. Next one is Content Creator of the Year, which I don't know who to vote for as I don't watch any of these people.
Yeah, I voted for Valkyrie just because we were speaking about this before. Um, like YouTube, her YouTube blow up was just huge.
Yeah,
She went from like 1K on Twitch like to 100K regularly on YouTube live streams, not like views, live
yeah,
viewers. So yeah, I voted for Ray because I think she definitely deserves it.
cool. I haven't got many categories left.
Not not much more left, and some of them we probably don't even need to talk about, to be
Mm,
honest with you, because the esports stuff, it's whatever.
yeah,
It's esports stuff. It's
yeah.
like
So this is our last category then, because all the
yeah,
rest
do
of
the
it
last one.
are esports.
Yeah,
So best debut game. We've got Carrion or
Phasmophobia.
Shell. Raji in Ancient Empire. Raji. It's probably pronounced completely differently, but I'm going with
Raji. Yeah,
Roki and
absolutely.
Phasmophobia.
Raji.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Phasmophobia gets my vote.
Phasmophobia. Absolutely. Phasmophobia is a
What a
banger, man.
game!
I still enjoy playing it.
It's just so good. And never in 2020, if you tell me at the start of the year you're going to vote for a horror game to win anything, I'm like, no, I don't play horror games. That's not me. Um, but no, it's so fucking good. Even for someone like me who's an absolute scaredy cat and just wants to stay in the van, the amount of like tools, the in-depth thing, the investigatory, just gameplay, it's just so enthralling. It's gotten to the point where half the time I'm not really thinking about how scary the game is. I'm just like, I need to go in here and set up this like tool. If I get eaten, I get eaten. Whatever. Here's the tool. Back to the van.
I got you,
Um,
baby.
so it's like sort of coaxes even people who are like scared of games like this, like myself, admittedly. It like coaxes you out of your comfort zone because you need to figure out this mystery, but you can't do that unless you set up your equipment in the big scary building. So yeah, just loved it.
I'm very, very glad that I managed to get you to play it, dude. I'm very, very glad.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I believe
New content soon too.
exactly. More.
Prison level, baby. That's gonna be good.
I mean, there's another category we could vote on, which is best esports game.
I voted for League. Like, I feel like League just deserves best esports game every single year
Yeah, I guess.
because it slaps, dude. I still watch League esports. It's great. It's exciting.
I'm
Yeah, I
a boy, so I'm not going to vote for League. I voted for Fortnite just because I really enjoyed the Anderson Paak concert we went to.
yeah, it's not esports though. Anderson Pack esports. That's what I'm in
There
for.
we go.
That's what I'm about.
So there are our nominations for the Game Awards, and that's brought us to an hour and 20 minutes on the podcast. So
God, yeah. So we should probably save the other topics for next week.
got some cracking topics next week.
We got some belters. That also gives me time to come up with a fucking big answer to one of the topics.
Yes, which I will
Just
not
you
reveal
wait and see.
until next week.
Yeah, we won't reveal it yet. We won't reveal it yet. It'll be exciting. It'll be
So
a real little
James, what are
surprise.
you up to this
Hey,
week? Where can people catch you?
bro, catch me streaming fucking Demon Souls. Twitch.tv/JimothyZ. Be streaming Demon Souls and probably some Miles Morales. You know, we're gaming all week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, other than that, you know, the usual twitter.com, Jimothy TV. You can see the daft shit I post about eggs and that. And maybe the odd monkey.
Hey,
Maybe the odd monkey. I love a good monkey. The new monkey dropped last week, so expect more monkey content.
cool.
And how about yourself, G man?
Catch me on until December 16th on Twitter as Stature Ubi. After that date, it'll probably just be Stature. As I touched on earlier, I got a new job. So I'll be leaving Ubisoft in around a month. Huzzah.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go.
in terms of what I'm doing personally, raising a
Okay.
dog still. I got an article on the way. Don't know what day it's going to get published on, but it's about how just sort of what happened to Daredevil in the Age of Apocalypse universe. So obviously, when mutants became the top of the pecking order over humans and stuff, like how he fared in that, because all the other heroes still existed in that universe. So I got that coming out, which you can catch on comicbookresources.com, just on my author
Lit.
page under Gary Walker. And yeah, that's just me. I'll probably just be lurking around playing games here or there. Currently playing Destiny, so if you run into me on Destiny, my username should be Chad Too Bad. um, please give me free stuff. And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, my username is where's your fucking puppy?
Where's your fucking puppy?
Where the fuck is it? So yeah, on that note, I think we'll leave you there. Have a lovely week. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Take care of each other.
Peace out, Buzz.
Peace and love. Peace and love.